subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.
That's just how we roll. You know what it is, what it is. How we roll. You know what it is, what it is. That's just how we roll.
Good morning, this is Golden Bronze, and I'm at home, and it is 6:50 in the morning, and I woke up at 6:30. Generally what I do is have a cup of coffee. That might be psychological, but one cup. When I used to work at the hospital, I worked the 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. I probably would have 8 cups of coffee a day over the night to help me stay awake. And then I would, once I got home, got my kids off to school, at one point I was going myself, but when I finished that, I would probably go to sleep around 11, 12 o'clock in the morning and sleep to about 2:30, not long, and get up and go pick up my kids from school about 2:50 and come home, cook dinner. If I didn't do that in the morning before I went to bed, help them with their homework, take a nap, which was probably only about 2 hours, and do it again. So I averaged 5 hours of sleep a day, and that's about all my body. I get about 6 now, but I said that to say I drink 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and then one whenever I would get up in the morning from having taken a nap. So in my mind, I have to have coffee to get that adrenaline flowing. But I've done real good because I brought myself from 8 cups of coffee to 1 cup of coffee. Slept from 8 to 4 to 1, basically. And so I'm having my coffee, and I thought, you know what? I'll FaceTime one of my kids to see how they're doing. I don't think I've done that or seen them since Thursday or Friday on video. And when I got ready to come here to where I live, I moved out of the country, they acted like I was committing a crime. I mean, all hell broke loose when I made the decision to go live my life my way. And they went to some extreme measures to keep me from leaving. However, none of them were going to support me. They just didn't want me to go live where I wanted to live, which is very selfish, right? You're not paying any of my bills. You don't help me with anything. When I am having problems, it's, oh, you'll figure it out. That's from my mother, my brother, to my children. And I always figured it out. So I decided one day I'm not happy living here in the United States anymore. I'm emotionally drained from everybody pouring out of my cup, taking out of my cup, nobody pouring into it. And I began to feel like nobody really cared. They just wanted me there to care for them, but they didn't really care for me. That's the way that I felt. Whether that's true or not, that is how they made me feel. And they also negate my feelings. So how I feel, it's just in your head, not my heart now. But even if it's in my head, it's mine. I own it, my feelings. How they feel is justified. How I feel is unjustified. Even my mother. Like, I don't have the right to have feelings. So anyway, I went through a whole lot with my family, you guys, to leave some egregious stuff. And then when I finally handled my business with the help of my doctor and my attorney, some legal matters had to be taken care of. They promised me to keep in touch, like I was going to the other end of the world, which I didn't do. I started to think about it, like South Africa. That's a place I want to visit. But then I decided, no, I'm still in the Americas. I just went to a different part of the Americas to live. Not in the United States, but still the Americas. And a 4-hour flight time away. That's it. So they asked me to keep in touch. My mother, my brother, and my children. And now my mother and my brother are two people that never really tried to keep in touch with me, even when I was 15 minutes away. If I didn't outreach to them or reach out to them, I didn't hear from them. Only if there was an emergency or they wanted something, wanted me to do something, then I would hear from them. But just to call me and say, how are you doing? Which rarely was said. Most of the time, if a phone call was made, it was to tell me something, to pass some information along, or to gossip about somebody else, or to just tell me something that maybe I didn't really want to hear or need to hear. It was never, well, how are you doing? What, can we do anything for you? Well, do you need anything from us? Never. So that's why I said I might as well go live my life wherever I want to live it. So when I got ready to leave and they saw that nothing that they said was going to make me stay, they asked me to keep in touch so that they would know that I was all right. Now, these are people that have never been out of the country, so to them, the United States is the best place in the world, and there's nowhere better, because they believe all the propaganda that they are fed. Black people are not better in the United States right now. They were before, but not now. We're not safe. We're not better. They're trying to take things back to the 1950s. And women aren't better, and minorities aren't better, not just black people. If you're not white and you're not rich right now in America, you're not really safer or better. So I had to consider their mentality. If you've never been out, you think Africa's a place where it's just jungle, dirt, and sticks. It's not like that at all. Do some YouTubing and you'll see what it looks like. Very modernized. Sometimes the infrastructure looks pretty daggone good. I'm not even gonna say better since I've not been there, but it looks good. Now there's oppressed areas everywhere. You ever drive through downtown Dallas, Houston, or Los Angeles? People literally camped out, sleeping on the street because they can't afford a roof over their head. Nobody's there trying to help them. You have, in Los Angeles, millionaires and billionaires. You think somebody would build a complex free for these people to go live in just to get them off the street? Nope. Same in Texas. All kinds of millionaires and billionaires, mostly white. But you think if those people were an eyesore, they would build a building to house them for free? No. But yet if you go to another country where you might be able to live cheaper and just as well, that people would be happy for you, especially retirees, right? Nope. They want you to think it's jungle, elephants, and dirt and sticks. And in some places it is still villages like that. But like I said, go through the big cities in the United States and drive down the street and take pictures of the tent cities where people live. That's an eyesore too. And their answer is to put them in detention centers where they have to be out of reach with their families, separate homes. That's their idea of get rid of the eyesore. So anyway, I digress. I got off onto a social issue that issue exists in every country. It really does. Not just foreign countries, but even at home. So I'm saying all this to say I got my feelings hurt this morning. Well, one, my mom, if you have a conversation with her and she's not the controller of it, or doesn't feel like the expert of the conversation. Like she's 92 and I don't even know if she finished high school, but she knows everything. There's nothing you can talk about that she doesn't know about. Now, I'm not 92. I'm seasoned as well, though, but I don't know everything. And if someone tells me something, I'm going to listen, I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to research it. Because I used to take people's word for things, and sometimes people would pretend to know and give me false information. And I used to take action on information that was given to me verbally without verifying it, and made some mistakes. And so now I verify everything. And I ask 1,000 questions to get an understanding of things. But if I do my mother that way, she gets angry. If you ask her questions, if you're inquisitive, she gets offended. And to me, that's just not normal at all. Last time I talked to her, she did this. And she had a ceiling fan going. And I'm talking to her looking at the ceiling fan. Well, I took that as, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to hang up on you because then you'll tell everybody I did. So I'm just going to let you talk to the ceiling. And I was offended by that. She's very heartless. And I remember her telling me that her grandfather, and I keep thinking about this because if your grandfather tell you this when you're a kid, then you treat your children a certain way, then your children are going to remember what your grandfather said. But her grandfather, who is my great-grandfather, told her she had a black heart. And I said, what is that? She said, heartless. And I just went, oh. Then I'm thinking, that probably was true. He saw that in you when you were a kid. Because some of the things you do to me is heartless. And I grew up wanting to be different. This morning, I remember something that said, if you continue doing that, you're going to be like her. I don't want to be. So I'm going to reach out to somebody so that I'm not like that. And the somebody hurt me. The somebody that I'm talking about did something egregious like my mother would do. Not like letting me talk to the ceiling, but, I don't want to out her. But whatever. But what she did was egregious that I didn't want to ever be around her again. And I'm the type of person that I won't fuss with you. I'll just leave you alone. If you don't want me in your life, that's fine. You have the choice. Because there's people I don't want in mine. I'll just leave you alone. But this person is closely related to me. It's my daughter. One of them. And I still don't care to be buddy-buddy, chummy-chummy, but I'm not going to be like my mother. I'm going to reach out to her. And so I called my granddaughter today. That's what prompted this video. At about 7 in the morning. And I've had them, my granddaughters and my daughters, to call me at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 11 p.m., when I'm sleeping. And I always wake up and answer the phone. I never do this. I always talk to them. I've had to talk them through rough patches in their life to let them know that life happens. People come, people go. People change and people grow. Sometimes if they do something that's wrong, I have to tell them what they did was not right. And maybe they need to reach back out to the person that they did it to and apologize. Or I would just have to talk to them about life and things that are going to happen, and you can't fall apart every time something doesn't go your way. I've talked to them about how men should treat them, what they should not allow, because I did. So now I'm telling my daughters, don't do as I did. I did it for all the wrong reasons. And I wasn't respected by the husband. I stayed just so I wouldn't have a broken family. But then I didn't realize that if the husband cared as much as I did, he wouldn't be abusing me either. He was abusive in more than one way. And I stayed just because I didn't want to break up my family. But there was no work being done on trying to fix it. We went to counseling one time, and that was just to keep me there. That was to keep me from leaving, because I had filed for a divorce. That was to keep me from leaving and moving on and feeling better about myself. That was to not protect my heart from him. He wanted me to stay, so he went. But after counseling, he went right back to his old ways. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, manipulation, infidelity. He went back to all of that. And eventually I left. So I try to tell them not to do what they saw me do. That we deserve better than that, to be treated like that. And that when people love you, if they truly love you, they won't misuse you. So we have to really know what love is and what it's supposed to be like. So I've talked them off the ledge. I've let them interrupt my peace multiple times. One of them has anxiety, would call me at ungodly hours, and I'd wake up and talk her through it. So I called this morning at 6:50 my time, which is probably about the same time their time, and was told to quit calling early in the morning. That was like a knife stuck in my throat, in my chest. As many times as you has disturbed my sleep, as many times as you have disturbed my peace, as many times as I've had to just wake up to keep you from crying, don't call me at 6:50 in the morning. So you know what I said? As a matter of fact, when I moved out of the country, I promised to call you often, just to let you know I'm okay. But I'm gonna quit calling at all. And when you want to talk to me, call me. And if I'm asleep or busy, I won't take the call. I'll only call you if I happen to be available, because that's what people do to me. All these years, they're available for me only if they are available. And if I'm talking about something they don't want to talk about, I do this. That people is rude. And that's what I grew up in. Blatant disrespect. Blatant rudeness. And I don't want to be like that. I've worked really hard to break the curse. That's a family curse. There's something about me, and that's on my mother's side, because my father's people treated people like human beings, still do. Like people with feelings, and it doesn't have to be the same as theirs. On my mother's side, if your feelings are different than theirs, if you differ from them, they're not the problem. You are. And there's nothing normal about that. I've been running from that all my life. I said to my brother lately, some things is just not normal. And then he told me that he sees it now. He resisted me for years, because since I was 15, I have been telling my brother about dysfunctional stuff in our family, and everybody had their head in the sand, in denial. My father used to bite his fingernails down to the quick because of the dysfunction, because of the emasculation, because of the emotional abuse. He couldn't talk about it because he was not the controller. I grew up under it, and my nonprofit, Golden Swan Cadre, started off being an advocate against domestic violence towards women. And I grew up seeing my father abused verbally, emotionally, emasculating. My mother was abusive to me, and we quietly didn't talk about it. It was like a family secret. And if you told her she was, then she was even more so abusive because she didn't want to hear it. And I don't know if that's because the truth hurts, but to look a gift horse in the mouth and then what comes out is more abuse when they're denying that they are, that's some shit, y'all. I'm sorry. It's hard to deal with. So I've had to go off on my own for 10, 20 years to just not have to deal with it. And when I explained to my brother why I did, he says he can see it now. And we're seasoned adults. Now he sees it. Something must have happened to make him see it. But when he told me, I started crying because I've been trying to show him for years that the treatment that I was receiving was abuse. Abuse of parental power. Abuse, period. And I've had to accept it like it was okay. It's never been okay with me. Never. So I started the nonprofit. After I started the nonprofit that advocates against it, I remembered my father was verbally, emotionally abused too. So it's not just men that do that to women. There are women that do that to men. So now it's open to men and women and children. So this morning I had a dagger stabbed through my heart. Don't call me this early in the morning. When I think about all the nights of mine that were disturbed, all the mornings that I had to wake up at 3 and 4 in the morning to talk somebody through an anxiety attack. My sleep was disturbed, and so was my peace. And all I was doing this morning was reaching out to see how her weekend was, to let her know I'm okay. But maybe it's not me they're worried about at all. If I'm physically or emotionally okay, it's just not me they're interested in. So I had to come over here and say this because my at home with Golden Bronze is complete transparency. People think that I don't go through what they go through because I've never talked about it. I go through it. I just hold it in. And this show, talking about it, is a form of therapy for me. And when I went through therapy, my therapist recommended that I do it. Because she said, I'm fine, you're fine. You are fine. And if that is what helps you, is sharing it and talking about it, you might help somebody else doing it. And she encouraged me to do this channel because this channel is about stuff that older people go through who don't talk about it. And I just want you to know you are not alone. I'm not alone. There's somebody out there who is always available for your kids and your grandkids. Always available. And then when you reach out to them, they're either sleeping, don't want to be disturbed, too busy, out having fun with their friends, and they can't step away to talk to you. They are just unavailable. But expect for you to be for them. So I believe my availability now is going to be based on my availability. Don't wake me up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 12 a.m., 5 a.m. Don't wake me up before 8 a.m. I was telling one of my other friends that's a reasonable hour, 8 a.m. Let's just do that. And guess what? I'll do the same. And if there's an emergency that's not life or death, I'll tell whomever to call after 8 a.m. All right? And don't call me before 8 a.m. either. Unless it is life or death. Peace out.
And now, on to our program.
Good morning, everyone. Golden Brides here at home, getting ready to take a morning walk. It's 9 o'clock here, and I'm late. I tried to do this by hold on. So I live in this very nice looking neighborhood, and I decided that I don't want to pull weeds. I don't want to maintain a home. I just don't want to do all that anymore. So I think I'm going to find myself a condo. And I remember telling my brother probably 2 years ago that I think I had reached the point in my life where I just want to live in a condo, something that other people maintain for me. I don't have to maintain it. So, here's just an aerial view of the subdivision. And as with any, some are very nice. Some people have let it go a little bit. I'm going to find that anywhere, even with an HOA, because there's one here as well. Okay. But my point to the matter is, regardless to where you live, Some people are going to maintain and some are not. I like that car. So I didn't know they had a RX 430i. I like that. A Lexus, which is one of the better cars that you could always buy. But anyhow, I am going to look for myself a condo, and at minimum a 2-bedroom. I was looking for a 3-bedroom. Like here, I have a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. And because I was in that mindset of a place for everyone to have when they come here, a place to sleep. And then I thought, realistically, do I really expect anybody to travel out of the country to come visit me? When I lived 280 miles away, they didn't come visit me. When I lived 15 minutes away, they did not come visit me. Only if I asked them to come, and sometimes they would come because they knew they could eat, drink, be merry, and not have to pay a penny to do it. Some people I didn't invite because I just didn't want that toxic energy, the negative vibe in my home, in my space. So not all people were invited, because if my energy and their energy didn't match from the beginning, I wasn't trying to have them in my space, you know, and often wouldn't go to theirs. Like, why bother? And that's how I am. You know, I'll be nice to you, I'll be cordial, and I'll mind my own business. I won't say nothing negative and nasty about you to anybody. I'll just migrate away from you. And you'll notice it, because I won't be around. I'll be absent. And I'm not ghosting. I just don't put my space in negative spaces and energy. It's too short for that. Energy's pass from one to the other. And I don't want that on me. They made a sunroom. That's very nice. I don't want that on me. So I will remove myself. Like, if I'm the common denominator that makes everybody act crazy, let me exit to the left and go live my own private secret life. Not secret, private life. Yeah, kind of secret, because my family will take what you say and twist it and spread it, and when you hear it again, it's not like that at all. So I keep my business to myself. If you want to call that secret, fine. My mother calls it secret, I call it private. I just don't share my life, the most precious and vulnerable moments, with my family. They take it, they twist it, they use it, and they roll with it. So I'm not going to even put myself in that situation. I used to include them in every decision I made. But I noticed that I wasn't happy following their suggestions and advice. And when I stood back and started looking in, they couldn't even handle their own life. So why was I running mine by them? So I stopped. So today's podcast, broadcast, radio cast, YouTube cast, whatever you want to call it, I didn't wake up planning this topic. By life happening is why this topic happened. Don't call me early in the morning. Kind of cut me to the white meat. How about all the times my phone rang when I was asleep and I answered it to comfort you, open my doors so you'll have a place to live, took care of you, because nobody else did. Now I'm restricted. Restricted to what time? I can call you. It's stuff like that, people, that make you go, You cannot take back anything that you did for anyone, anything that you gave anyone, any love that you shown anyone, and I still love everybody. I just need to learn to love me first. Love me first. And many of you may need to learn to do that too, because we are not alone. And I hope this podcast touches somebody. If it's just one person, I think I will have done my job. Also, check out Gab with Golden Bronze on YouTube. It is a motivational, inspirational, spiritual but not preachy podcast show with some entertainment, hip-hop, R&B. We've had some guests on there, authors, financial advisors. We helped also with financial literacy, and I am a life coach. I'm gonna have a website pretty soon. It's in construction or under construction, where people who might find that my At Home with Golden Bronze or my Gab with Golden Bronze kind of turns a light switch on upstairs, and maybe would like to have a little mentoring and guidance, because I'm a person that has been abused. I've been a victim, a survivor, and now I'm a thriver. And what I'm doing now is actually talking about it. I've gone my whole life holding in how I feel about things, people, and how they have treated me, and how I should treat them. You don't mistreat people because they mistreat you, but you take care of you. Self-preservation. So if someone calls you at 4 a.m, you don't have to answer the phone. Their emergency is not your emergency. And my cousin told me that. Their emergency is not your emergency. Take it if you want to, the call. But if you don't feel obligated at 4 a.m, they got to figure it out. You don't have to figure it out. So that's the advice that I roll with now. Anyway, soon my website will be available. I'm just kind of letting you know it's coming, where I'll be doing some life coaching based off of the knowledge that I learned through the course and the life that I've led through the years. Until the next time, I'll see you around the corner at Home with Golden Bronze. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.